I'm Kieran, the Studio Communications Manager for the Creative Assembly, with a studio behind Shogun 2 Total War. Okay, well, Shogun 2 is obviously the latest in the Total War series. Total War series is a PC strategy series of games, which is turn-based and real-time combat. And Shogun 2 is the sequel to the game that started the entire series 10 years ago, the original Shogun. It's set in feudal Japan during the height of the kind of samurai and ninja warfare period. And you control any one of 10 different families in the islands of Japan. And you have to create an empire and expand it and defend it until you become ultimately the biggest military power and therefore Shogun of all of Japan. The different clans in the game all have different kind of specialities, so they all start in different locations on Japan. Some of them will be like in the far east or the far west or even in the centre of the island. Some are surrounded by enemies, others are quite well protected. They all have their own kind of technologies and abilities to begin with, so some are extremely strong with cavalry, others with spears and others with archers. Some are very, very good with agents and diplomacy and things like this on the campaign map, so you have to try and pick a clan that plays to your strengths. Make sure you protect your weaknesses and go ahead and destroy all your enemies. Well, I guess we've done a number of things. The most obvious difference you'll see is in the graphical side of things. I mean, it's a really beautiful game to look at. We've really pushed the engine as far as we can, so kind of the individual armor of the men, the kind of detail you'll see in all of the units, the number of units on screen, all of that has been massively increased over our previous games. But I guess in terms of gameplay, on the campaign map we've included a kind of an RPG system for the first time, so now you actually kind of level characters up and give them traits and abilities and skills. And all of this kind of mechanic is a way of giving the player even more control and more connection to their agents and to the kind of people that they're creating. And on the battle side, we've actually combined the land and naval battles for the first time. So you'll actually have kind of sea battles with a coastline, actual beaches and inlets and rocks and cliffs, and all of that kind of stuff is brand new for the series, and it's hopefully going to be something really exciting. You're going to see very big battles. We've got kind of armies now of a technical maximum of up to sort of 56,000 units, so you're going to see absolutely massive battles. And it's pretty impressive to watch all these kind of hundreds and thousands of samurai just running in and smashing into each other. It's really cool. One of the interesting additions on the battle side is we've added these hero units to the game. So if you imagine them like kind of masters of certain martial arts, so maybe masters of katana swords or masters of archery, this kind of thing. And when you get so far in the building tree on the campaign map and you build a legendary dojo of a certain style of martial arts, you'll get given a hero unit. And a hero is like a master who has kind of sort of a number of disciples around him. And they'll go onto the battlefield, and then you can use them as a kind of really elite unit on the battlefield. Now, they're not invincible, they're not like heroes in the sense of, they'll win a whole battle on their own, but if you use them properly, they can carve the enemy to pieces. You can see like archery heroes just literally like 1, 2, 3, 4, just downing all of these enemies as they charge in. So yeah, they're a really cool mechanic. The other one to watch out for is Battlefield Ninja, and they're kind of ninjas that you control on the battlefield. They're like kind of special forces teams. You can send them out and they'll do hit and run attacks and then disappear, so they're pretty cool as a unit to control. The heroes aren't quite the same as the agents. You can level all the agents on the campaign map, but the heroes do gain experience, on the battlefield, so they'll gain ranks essentially. So as they fight more and more battles and win more and more, then they'll get more and more experience on the battlefield and therefore become even better. And they are pretty cool when you get them ranked up. It's really cool, and it's also kind of scary. There's a lot of love for the first few games. Whenever you talk to people about what their favourite Total War games are, they'll always tell you it's one of the Holy Trinity, so one of the first three, Shogun 1, Medieval 1 or Rome. Generally every fan of the series that's been with us for a while came in on one of those games, and they're kind of like, well, you should really make sure you get the essence of it right. So the stress for us is making sure we get the essence of the game. So we play it. We've got all the old designers who worked on the original working on this one as well, the guys who did the music, the guys who did the cinematics. So a lot of the original team from the original Shogun are still in the studio and still working on Shogun 2. So hopefully we'll do justice to the original game. This is about pushing the series forward by adding some new elements like the RPG stuff and combining the land and naval bits, and doing some really interesting stuff on the campaign side and the battle side, but also staying really true to the spirit of the original, that feeling of close combat, melee warfare, hand-to-hand battles, and you being in command and control of all of it. So we need to make this really feel like it's your Japanese empire, your Japanese family, and you've created this huge sprawling kind of fiefdom from a single province all the way out across the islands of Japan. It needs to be your story, and that's something we're trying to get right. So this is a PC only, and it'll be out the first half of 2011.
All that begins must